Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to color code some sticky notes. I like to make this as simple as possible. I am also letting you know that my husband's a graphic designer and he's going to be working on creating some simple icons so that teachers can use a template that they can just run through a printer and print straight onto sticky notes. That's going to look a lot nicer than my hand-drawn ones. So one of the things I did is I color coded, for example, response skills are all going to be on pink sticky notes. So for example, here is I can illustrate in response to a text, I can retell, I can think about the author's purpose. So as I introduce these with kids, I can easily add these to my little bank of these. And all I've done is just put a piece of white paper inside of a page protector, and then I'm just sticking these straight on here so that I can save them from week to week. Another one that I have are some of our comprehension skills. Notice I put these on green. So, why are we reading this? Setting a purpose for reading. We're asking questions before, during, and after. We might be monitoring our comprehension to reread. Maybe we are making an inference. We're looking for clues, and then we're thinking about what does that mean for us. Maybe making connections or visualizations. So like I said, I want these to be as easy for students and teachers to use as possible, because the whole point is for students to be able to make that connection to their learning in class. So I will be sending out the pictures of my little icons, and I can go ahead and send my little hand-drawn ones to you guys, but just know that we're working on some better looking ones as well. So let me show you how I would do this. One of the things that sometimes teachers spend way too much time on is rewriting a big, giant, long thing on their board every single day when it's not really helping their students as much. So I like to kind of create for maybe our reading time a general one that we can use throughout the week. So for example, if I said, I can think about, read, write about, and discuss texts. This, I might even put in here, I could put in here a specific genre. I could put in our mentor text for the week. I could add in whatever I wanted to and change the language. I really want the kids to really kind of focus in on this think about. So you might even just draw a little brain up here, because that's something we really want kids to think about. And then we really want them to practice those discussion skills as well. So for example, if I were doing this with my students, I would say, okay guys, this week we are going to be doing a few different things. As we read, we are going to be reading a book this week called Be Bim Bop. And this book, this week, we are going to really take a look, when we're talking about our word study, we're going to really look for rhyming words. So one of the things we're going to really take a look at as we're listening and interacting with this text is we're going to be really listening for rhyming words, and we are also going to be pointing out some alliteration. And we've learned that alliteration is the same consonant sound at the beginning. So as we read this week, you guys are going to be listening for rhyming words and alliteration. The other thing as we read this book, either today or tomorrow, we are going to, before we do it, we're going to ask some questions before, during, and after, because that's what good readers do. They ask questions as they read, before they read, and after they read. And you may already be wondering, the name of our book is called Be Bim Bop. You may already be wondering, what in the world is that going to be about? So we're going to be talking about asking those questions. And the other thing that we're going to do as we're reading this week is we are going to be making connections to our lives, to other books, to the world around us. And we're also going to be talking about when we get to a part and we're not sure what that means, like a word, we can go back and we can monitor our comprehension by rereading. So boys and girls, these are going to be some of our biggies that we're going to think about today. And as we listen to our book, we're going to be looking for those rhyming words, alliteration. We're going to be asking those questions before, during, and after. You guys are going to be thinking about the connections you can make, and then we're going to stop and reread when we get confused. So for today, that's going to be how we're going to focus. All right, so I just modeled that. Now for the next day, I might remove some of these and I might go back to, and I might say, all right, so yesterday we talked about asking those questions before, during, and after, and we made some connections. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to go to a page in here and we're going to talk about how does the author give us words to help us make a picture in our mind. When we're looking at the words in a book, how do we get that picture in our mind? And as we do that, I'm going to ask you guys to actually do some response. You're going to get your own sticky note and you're going to be drawing that picture that comes in your mind as you read. So this is going to help your students be able to make connections. And if you keep the same sticky notes, they start to understand what does that sticky note mean for them. One of the things I kind of like is if you've got second grade students, you could have them actually help you make these sticky notes, and then it becomes more authentic for your class. I'm going to give you guys some that you can easily use, but feel free to make your own and see what makes sense for you. The best thing about these visual objectives is that you can kind of make them as simple as you need them to be while making them still valuable for students. I also wanted to point out that whenever you get to Writer's Workshop and you're talking about writing, for example, one of the things you could do is that in here, my writing sticky notes are purple. It's kind of harder to see. But maybe this week, as we are working on our how-tos, we want to think of our idea, we want to plan it across pages, and we want to make sure we're writing it. And then as we write, we want to make sure we're telling it in order with first, next, then, and finally. So you can even take something like this, and my sentence would change right here for my writing objective for the day, but my images could be just as simple. We want to make it easy for kids and for teachers to be able to remember what our focus is for the day.